Hello, everyone. Hello, Charlotte, North Carolina, and everyone watching wherever you are. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lucas Silva. I am the Charlotte Pride Grill Out Short Films Coordinator. My pronouns are he, him, his, and today I have the pleasure of chatting with the good folks of one of our short film selections, Dear Aunt Noah. And this film, it's a great glimpse, or my summary is that it's a great glimpse into the meeting up of some old friends with different values, and they're realizing that their political choices and ideologies weigh very heavy and make for a very tense reunion. That's the way that I feel about it. Our guest today, we have Dana Aaliyah Levinson. She plays one of the main characters, of course, Noah. She's making her directorial debut, I read as well, and she wears many hats, and she'll have to tell us more about that a little bit later. We also have John J. Rye Armstrong, an actor in the film, as well as the first assistant director and the first assistant cameraman, again, many hats as well. And also we have Michael Armstrong Barr, who plays Jerry, one of the actors in there, and also a Charlotte native. Is that correct?
Yes. No, actually, cousin John is the
Oh, we got it. I got it the other way around. Well, that happens. Well, I might make that reference maybe once or twice again, but we'll get over it. So that was my first question. Did I get all the introductions correct? Yeah, tell us. Just help me correct and introduce yourselves one more time for everybody. Dana, can we start with you, please?
Yeah, I'm Dana Aaliyah Levinson. I played the role of Noah and directed the film.
Beautiful, thank you. John?
Hi, I'm John Armstrong. I had many caps in the film as well, mainly being a first AD and first assistant camera. And I'm the one who recommended they submit to Charlotte.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. And also for Michael, please.
Hi, Michael Armstrong Barr. I played Jerry, and I also wrote the film, and I am the lead producer on it as well.
Wow, so many different parts for everybody. I just want to say also, anybody out there that's watching and listening, if you have any comments or questions that you'd like to place, feel free to do so in the comments area, and we'll get around to those hopefully as well. So thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you, everybody. Did I summarize the film kind of correctly? I saw, that there was several ways to interpret it, but that's the way that I was feeling, because I really did see that I was sort of witnessing this moment where it's a surprise that old friends meet up and they find out about some of the choices that some of those folks made and how they really affect the other folks in the room as well. So that was pretty much the way that I was thinking that I felt about it. And it really did have quite an impact on me. I really did feel some of the tension in there. So I do have a few questions for you all. So what was your favorite part about working together on this particular project for Dear Aunt Noah?
Go ahead, Dana. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Mike and I have known each other for years, and it was our first chance getting to act with each other since college. So for me, just that was my favorite part of it. Yeah, it was really nice to get back into the ring with Mike, as they say.
So you have a good ongoing friendship that has stayed a good ongoing friendship. It didn't take a turn the way it does in the film, does it?
No, and that was something that I think was. By the way, I loved your synopsis. I feel like you should just write our next press release for us.
I can give it a try.
But yeah, no, it was interesting because Dana and I. Throughout our 20s, when I was living in New York, Dana and I go way back. Obviously, John and I do too. As my cousin. I'll say that Dana and I spent our 20s probably having wonderful philosophical and political discussions, and uh, often saw eye to eye with each other. But I know that I grew because of my relationship with Dana, and that exposure was something that was sort of an important piece of the film. When we started writing it, it really was just because Dana was in Los Angeles for another film premiere, and he wanted some acting real footage. So I said, "Oh, I'm gonna write this thing based on the conversation that we don't think people are having." Luckily, our relationship, yes, hasn't gone that way. I don't consider myself scary necessarily. I
Mhm.
stepped outside of myself to write that character, but we wanted to explore a conversation between two people that had a friendship that's new, um, where survival meets sort of that friendship or ideology, and drew on the experiences of Jerry from people I know in my own family and friends who are really good people, but
Mhm.
have a different set of needs and survival needs in this world than I do. I've said before that I think I probably, as a creative member, had the least stakes in this, and that I know whatever happens with the election,
Mhm.
have, but
Would
but
you?
experience was really what I wanted to bring into this character and this world. Show that side of the narrative authentic of a way as possible.
And then, John, did you have a favorite aspect of working on this project as well?
Yeah, I was really excited that my Mike had invited me to come out and help him with the project. I mean, we're all East Coast, you know, residers. It was my first time actually going out to the West Coast in LA, and really being with a lot of other, people who are in the business and have been on those. Because mainly all the things that I've been doing here locally are just kind of small independent
Mhm.
projects. And I mean, this was a small independent project, but it's already been making waves and getting noticed a lot. So, um,
It's a nice work. I mean, it's a very nice film. It's well done. It really speaks to an audience. But who did you guys have as an intended audience? Was this a special message for anybody in particular? Of course, we're happy that we saw it, so we're a very grateful audience. But did you have anybody in mind?
Um, I I mean, Mike, you can speak to this more as well, but I think one of the things that we really wanted to elucidate was sort of like the um, the people who sort of find themselves torn between two different worlds, and I think that um, that was also sort of the intent of like who this was for in a way, and the sort of mantra of filming this, and this has also been very much a part of Mike and my relationship um, over the years, is that we are living in a very polarized, partisan, and black and white time,
Mhm.
and we always were like, go to the gray, go to the gray, go to the gray.
Mhm.
And so for me, I think primarily it's for people who find themselves in that gray area.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know, Mike, you know, stuff to
No,
add.
yeah, and I can't say it any better than you, Dana. But it's basically that conversation. Yeah, being I suppose it's for the people in that world that didn't feel like they had a home in this quite polarized country we live in. And then also hope. My hope is that whoever's watching can see the other side if in a
Mhm.
sudden, you know, in a more human way. Um,
Mhm.
I think that ultimately it it speaks to this idea that a lot of people I guess, would ask what was the point of this, and sort of that art, how to function. It was more questions of people than anything else,
Mhm.
and show that we all have a lot of greatness in us. You know, we're not all one thing or the other. So.
Well, this film, it packs a lot of emotion into 11 minutes. You know, it does have some, uh, I guess, flashbacking, and then, of course, everything that happened at the restaurant or at the wine bar or wherever this was plotted. It really did. It looked very emotional. I mean, I was watching it. I felt tense. Did this tension that you were acting out carry with you residually for a little while, or is this something that's so easy to grab at because it's so relative to right now? It's like it's happening anyway. Is that any of the feelings that you all had?
Mike, I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I think that my background is as an actor. Dana and I met in school, as she mentioned, and so from that place, it was hard to get into that, and then have to especially off that hat to produce promote or something like that, you know. But I wouldn't say it changed how I, you know, viewed my relationship with Dana. It forced me to continually ask questions. Internal struggle, I would say, more than anything,
Mhm.
because sometimes it would be very easy for me to sort of, you know, make things as polarized or monotone as it's easier to do that, you know. But I think the residual effect of this piece constantly tell myself, all right, no, go
Mhm.
back to the gray, you know, go back to the gray, go back to the gray.
Mhm.
So yeah, it definitely, emotionally, it definitely sat with me. And when I went home at night, I had to unpeel the emotions a bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely imagine that you would have had to, yeah, so to speak, peel off those emotions again. Or, I mean, I really felt for, for Dana's character, for Noah. I mean, running to the restroom and trying to wipe off some of that. That terrible moment that she just experienced in the disagreement between the two of you guys. So I mean, how did that carry along with you too, Dana? Or I just can't imagine acting that out so well and so really, and then being able to just shrug it off. I imagine that it carried with you as well.
I tend to find myself as an actor, I'm one of the people where I'm sort of like in the zone, and then once we do like the martini shot or like we're done for the day,
Yeah.
then it comes up. So it's
Well,
whatever state I need to be in for that day of filming,
mhm,
kind of be there for the whole day, and then I'm able to let go of it once the shot is done. Uh,
mhm,
for me, I think what was difficult about it is like, you know, as a trans person, I like live with that sort of trying to find the right word. It's not tokenization of identity, but the feeling of just constantly being othered or having your identity being made into a political issue rather than like your humanity being viewed. And
mhm,
so for me, this moment of like her, to me, like the crux of the miscommunication between the two of them is yes, on the other side, generally speaking, her life has been made into a political issue, which is like deeply traumatic. And so she makes the assumption that because Jerry supported this person, that that's how he views her life,
yes.
and rather than seeing her humanity. And that's something that I feel in my day-to-day life. It's like a pressure that I feel in my day-to-day life. So bringing that, sort of just allowing that exhaustion to live,
Yeah.
both like kind of exhausting and cathartic all at once. And then, yeah, I remember I was super lucky. I had a friend who lived in LA who happened to be out of town, so she let me her house while I was there. And I remember going back there and sitting on the couch and being like, I need to watch like the most popcorn bubblegum TV. Like I forget what I watched. It was some like Top Chef Masters or
Something a little mindless to just take that experience off and just unwind, really, right?
or like Say Yes to the Dress. It was like something like that. Yeah.
And then, John, during that tense scene, I guess you were one of the bar patrons. Is that right?
Yeah, I was in the background ordering a drink.
Was it enjoyable?
It was just mainly trying to listen to, not only the words but the expressions. Because I mean, even though it's acting, like it's from personal experiences, and I know a lot of the extras in there like definitely felt the same vibe too. I mean, they didn't like having to react the way they did, but I mean, Dana was on them to be like, just be excuse me, but be assholes. Like, sorry, but yeah, that I mean, I was just like,
it got the point across that idea worked. Yes.
And that's what, was great to see, is that people were, hearing and understanding what was going on, and then but they were still able to get that direction and perform to make it seem real.
So you felt it as well, being back there in the background as for that tense of a scene, like how many times did you guys have to do that one? Was it a one and done, or wow?
2 days.
2 days. Wow, that's yeah. You're right. I would watch. What is it? Say Yes to the Dress after all that, just to unwind. Wow, 2 days of that.
This is a little movie magic thing, which is that the space we were in needed to be arted the hell out of, and like we needed to do so much to make it look like a wine bar, because it was not a wine bar. It was a big open event space. And we also had limitations because most of the background actors were doing it as a favor. So we had limitations on background actor availability. We had limitations of the space. So we had to logistically do it so that we shot one side of the room on one day and the other side of the room on the other day. To keep the actors consistent and keep the space like looking fleshed out in the shot. And it was like a big logistics thing that also gave us space to really like work that scene.
That is some movie magic, because it fooled me. I was none the wiser. I couldn't even tell. So how long? I mean, if that took 2 days, how long was the entire shoot?
Well, the shoot itself was 3 days. That long wine bar scene, we shot the first day. Shot the fight confrontation. So the part where Noah and Jerry is fighting at the table that has just been said some thing. That we actually got done pretty quickly. It was improvised. And basically, that's when Dana had to step in for a couple takes and say to the guys at the table, so that went pretty smoothly. It just half of the 11 minutes in that space, and it was one of those situations where a week prior to filming, we had this great, full, wonderful bar space, and then it just bottom fell out. Of course, our wonderful producer, who was also in the film, like scrambled and we found this. Yeah, it took a lot of artistic design by that, making it look like a wine bar from either side. But to Dana's point, allowed us to, um, I think my side was first at Dana, right? Second night. Yeah. So it gave us the ability to really explore and run this scene, I think, more times than we would have if it was, and the first day we shot in the house, and the house scene was great because it was nice and easy for some.
Well, I'm glad that you all got such a great story wrapped up in 3 days and 2 days in a bar scene. I'm not opposed. I am curious, is it possible that the storyline can continue since it does time really well, obviously, with an election coming up. Is it possible that your character, Michael, if that Jerry does intersect or having a moment to continue the dialogue, even though the dialogue is dead? I did see that tagline. It makes so much sense. But is it possible that Noah and Jerry might have another get together at another bar or some other conversation?
Yeah, that's the hoping. And I'm glad you picked up the tagline. Dialogue was dead. The dialogue is dead, but our hope, obviously, is that it's not, right?
Yeah.
And so we went back and forth on this, and I had a lot of, and I think ultimately Dana's thought on this one, and I'm so happy it did, which is the idea of leaving the envelope on the seat and open. But there were previous versions where she just throws it out, and they're sort of opens up that thread that still cares about this relationship. I would say, as future of the piece, we recently had some exciting news that we Lonely Seal Releasing is going to be pitching the project at Cannes next May, and we are developing it, or I'm currently developing it, an analog anthology series, with the idea of a humble feature film. Now I'm expanding it out, but Noah and Jerry will very much play key roles in this, but they'll be just one of a number of stories.
Okay.
Character exploring identity in modern America and how nuanced it is. So they'll have their day.
So there's a chance that the dialogue could continue or get revived, or we can agree to disagree, and not. Well, that kind of leads up. You were just mentioning that envelope being left in the seat as opposed to being thrown out the window. One big question that I myself and other folks that I've been chatting with, what was in the envelope? Is that just going to remain a mystery, or was there a clue? What did I miss? I feel like I was wondering if it was a hair tie. It wasn't a hair tie. I don't think your hair was tied back when you left the bathroom. But what was it? I mean, is there a sentiment in that envelope that I want to wrap my mind around, whatever that was?
To me, it was less what was necessarily in the envelope, and it was more what the envelope symbolized, which is the fact that, to me, Noah has this relationship with Jerry's daughter, and that, to me, what that letter symbolized was like the thing that tethers the two of them together. There's more to their relationship than just like this one given moment. And her choosing not to throw away the letter at the end means she hasn't yet decided to sever all ties. And so I know what I think is in the envelope, which
Uh-huh.
is just like a beautiful letter from Jerry's daughter, like "I miss you" and that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. And um, and I think also I don't think Noah ever opens it in the movie. She
I when I was watching, it seemed like it was kind of a little tattered, or maybe it got worn from, being in the pocket or in whatever exchange.
Yeah.
But you're right. I couldn't tell if it was really opened in the bathroom. I couldn't tell if some of those tears were from reading the letter. I couldn't tell. There was just so much mystery behind that because I just don't know. And, I want to know what's in it. But
Yeah.
um,
The,
it did seem to have something.
the intent for me is that she's crying because she can't bring herself to even open it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Then yes. Now I'm about to shed a tear as well because oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But yeah, I definitely see that. So yeah, she's just gotten over this moment, the huge disagreement. It seems like everything is really over between the friendship. It's the renewal of a victimization from somebody that's so close to you. It's just so much that adds up there. Um, so you did mention that instead of throwing it out, was that something that you changed, or was that cut from? Was that a deleted scene, or is there a deleted scene that would have taken the story in a different way?
Well, there was initially in the very first draft there was actually uh, this these bookend scenes between
Mhm.
three different characters, and that actually left an impetus of what was in the envelope. It as Dana mentioned, it didn't become a thing that other than what it meant to Noah. Um,
Mhm.
but this was what was physically in the envelope, little pink dinosaur figurine, with a letter, and that was because of a scene that was deleted, which had Dana's character leaving the envelope on a bench in the Hollywood Hills, and
Mhm.
then another character, a
Oh
young
yeah.
yeah, a young trans
Yeah.
man, finding it, and there was some significance in the pink dinosaur because another scene that I wrote that I hope stays in the actual series is between these other two characters where the one young trans man is saying, well, her his girlfriend is saying, well, how do we know dinosaurs are brown and green? We just call them brown and green. We don't know. Dinosaurs
Mhm.
could be, and that like society tells us what to be and who to be and what to think, and what's correct, not correct, and what's natural and not natural, right? But at the end of the day, like dinosaurs could be pink, and so
Mhm.
so it was this, it was something that might work itself into the future edition, but it cut from the short, and what became in the envelope was really, as I mentioned, whatever Noah felt,
Mhm.
which I really think I'm with you, Dana, in that. I think even at one point in the script, it was like you see a little bit of the letter where it says "I love you," but we decided to allow the audience to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, it gave us a little bit of a mystery and something to dig into. And now that we're having this conversation, I love that since it wasn't thrown out, it really kind of does leave it open ended. So that's really nice. And now y'all are working on this anthology that you're saying. So that'll be something to look forward to. Did you say when we can expect that, or when are we thinking?
So I'm developing it currently, and then of course, and my big thing with writing this particular project is really really important to me. And what we're writing is we have veto power over any line, however was authentic to her experience. So the series is going to be a lot of different voices, and I'm figuring talking to people that lend authenticity to that. But my hope is that the pilot will be ready to go. Then we'll see what the take it from there.
Well, hopefully sooner than later, of course, with so many trials and tribulations in the world right now, production is a lot different than it used to be. So what is next for everyone? Does everybody have a project other than the anthology? Is there anything else in the hopper that we can anticipate?
Yeah. So, well, right now you can catch me on season 4, episode 6 of The Good Fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also catch me on the upcoming 3rd season of American Gods. I was supposed to be filming a proof of concept for my pilot back last April. And obviously, when the pandemic hit, so that didn't happen. But we are starting to find a way to film it. We'll be filming it within the next couple of months. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And just a quick comment. I think I hear some typing, so I apologize. Is somebody typing right now? Is that probably somebody in the background? Anyway.
I've been hearing a lot of static, and I don't know where it's coming from.
I don't know what it is either, so I apologize to everybody. But yeah, somebody else, I'm hands-free right here, so I apologize for whatever that noise is. Is everyone? I'm sorry. So that was Dana. She has a few things going on. Of course, the anthology that Michael was talking about. And is there something else that's a little bit more upcoming?
For me, I'll say that that's taking up a bulk of it. But I did actually just finish another feature film in a script writing way that I'm sending out to competitions, and that's something entirely different, but also deals with the grayness. I also producer with my production company about a documentary called A Tale of Two Cities of Angels. And it basically explores the dichotomy here in Los Angeles. The goal for the cast, private education, public education. So yeah, just trying to get our feet wet in as much as possible with the fledgling production company that we formed for Deer at Noah.
Yeah. And John, do you have something that we can look forward to as well?
I've mainly just been working on some local projects with local producers. There's one that's we finished wrapping up. It's like a family film called All We Got. It just kind of explores how family was distant and broken up, and fortunately their mom passes away, so they're all coming back together and just kind of fixing those loose ends and see where it goes from there. It's definitely going to be a big hit. And I've been sharing the trailer on my page, but you can also follow the social handle All We Got Movie. And yeah, that's going to be one of the bigger projects that I worked on this year.
That would be something to look forward to. I'm going to have to start following that handle. That was All We Got Movie, is that right?
I believe that's what it's called. It's either All We Got or All We Got Movie.
Got it. I got it. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining us today. Does anybody have any final words? I don't want to make anybody run over. I know there's a few other appointments that you guys have. So if there's anything that you'd like to say to our folks out there, Charlotte Pride, the Reel Out Film Festival that has turned virtual this year, but we look forward to a safe Reel Out in any shape and form. But if you have any words to say, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Just thank you for having us. Thank you for watching our film. I actually have a lot of relatives in Charlotte, so I've been there a whole bunch. I love Charlotte, and so it's very nice to play in Charlotte.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just thank you so much. We're really honored and proud to be part of the festival. I think it's really important lifting up voices like you guys are, and telling our story, which we hope is a real human story, more than anything.
I agree. It is a very real human story, and we're so thankful that you guys put together something for our viewers to put their eyes on, and it was done so well. So I really do appreciate all y'all's work. Thank you for everything that you've done, and I look forward to seeing more beautiful work from all of you. That would be amazing. So right now, I'm just going to take this time to go ahead and say thank you to our guests. We had Dana, we had John, we had Michael today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our sponsors. We have K&L Gates and American Airlines. We have P-Flag Charlotte, EY, Bright House Financial, and Freedom Center for Social Justice. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching tonight. And also keep watching these movies online and throughout the week, and vote for your favorite movies. And join us again tomorrow. We have a Q&A with Doug Spearman from Zero to I Love You. And I think that's it. So thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. And everybody have a good night.
Thank you.